You may not have thought about this, but noise is owned. Noise has an ownership, and words also are owned. In fact, actions have an ownership. Gifts and things have an ownership. But in particular, uh, with regard to the perspective of autistic persons and how autistic persons take and experience noise, there's an ownership. And that's true, really, whether people are autistic or not. So, anyway, this is June the 4th, 2025, and I want to speak of noise ownership. Now, there are some people who might be thinking, yeah, that's right. I make a YouTube video. I'm a content creator, and I own something that is played on YouTube. Or if somebody writes a song or plays some piece of music, well, then they own that. Uh, that is legal ownership, and there's some ownership involved in that. But I'm talking about more than that. I'm talking about uh, if you say something um, or make some noise, or even say, tell something truthful, um, or tell a lie, or make a threat, for a verbal threat. All of those things have an ownership. If you're banging on some drums, there's an ownership. If you turn on a leaf blower, and you turned it on and you're using it and that's making noise, there's an ownership. The maker of the noise is the person who's doing it. They're the owner of it. If you turn on a radio, then you initiated that noise, or a vacuum cleaner or a faucet, then you own that noise. That's your noise because you made it happen. And uh, for, for an autistic person who is sensitive to noise, and they're not just sensitive, they're sensitive to the ownership of the noise and to whether or not that noise is welcomed or unwelcomed, invited or uninvited, um, intrusive or unintrusive. And they are experiencing that noise and ex- um, determining if that noise is something that's an invasive, intrusive thing that they're not welcoming, not wanting, not inviting, or if they like it, invite it, and are willing to experience it. Very often, there are many noises made by people. Just to run off some examples. People turning on a faucet, often multiple times, to clean a fork, and then a spoon, and then a plate, and then a cup, and if they had a meal, several things. Just that's the faucet, just that by itself. People turning on their bathroom faucet, their shower, all those have to do with not just water, but noise. Flushing the toilet, turning on a blow dryer, turning on a microwave, a couple of minutes, then maybe you're heating up some water or coffee and it's not hot enough, you turn it back on again. Same thing with food, multiple times using a microwave, turning on a washing machine, a dryer, a dishwasher, um, the humming of a refrigerator. All of those things make noise. Vacuum cleaner, noises going on outside the house. Sometimes people are grinding up tree branches and whole trees with some size wood chipper. Some of them are as big as a truck. Bulldozer noises, uh, jackhammers. Sometimes people use those in construction right across the street from your house or where you are. revving of engines, idling engines. Sometimes people just have their vehicle idling for hours. Sometimes people live near a place where lots of trucks are idling at a post office or a truck stop for hours and hours, or they live near an airport. All these things are noises, and they're all owned by someone. Typically, they're all owned by someone. Some noises are in nature, lightning and such, and those noises are God's. But noise for legal purposes, for practical purposes, for spiritual purposes, and for emotional purposes, noise is owned, and it can enter into the senses of a person, any person, an autistic person as well, and they can perceive it as kind of a mental rape if it's violating them, if it's unwanted, uninvited, and violating, or it could be welcomed and just fine because they wanted it. They turned it on their own radio. They wanted to go to a song that they like, and they never had any, problems with that particular song, and they want to hear it again or whatever. There's a huge difference in turning on the radio yourself, or for that matter, turning on the vacuum cleaner yourself or a faucet, and somebody else turning those things on. The difference is whose will is involved, whose volition, and whose noise, and who owns the noise. So that's just kind of an explanation of part of what is going on with autistic persons who have trespass sensitivity or trespass sensitivity autism, which is also boundaries and trespass sensitivity autism. And the boundary is that when someone else is making noise other than the autistic person, and the noise extends, that's owned by another person, that is made by another person, say they're whistling. Their whistling extends from them by the noise, via noise, into whoever's within the sense, whoever's within hearing range of it, and it's within their senses. It enters in, and it's not just the noise entering in, it's that person, by extension, entering in. If some person, Michael Jackson, I don't care, Adele, Taylor Swift, if they're singing, their noise enters in to your mind. Michael Jackson's got this song, "Relax Your Mind, Lay Back," it's entering in. And, noise enters into a person's not only ears, and not only do they receive it physiologically, they receive it mentally and within the mind. And if it's received as a welcomed thing, fine. But if it's an unwelcomed thing and uninvited and unwanted and violating, well, then it's kind of a mental rape. And the autistic person is a lot more sensitive to that. So the autistic person has a lot of perception as far as whether something is theirs or someone else's, and whether or not it's invited and wanted and welcomed or not. Okay, 50. I'm trying to make this less than 15 minutes. So it's, again, June the 4th, 2025. And Fibbity Gibbets. Who owns the noise? Thanks.